I'm gonna turn this off right here. That was I found that music from Radiohead about the computerized voice. I thought that was interesting and really apropos for the show tonight. I have a pretty good signal right now on my computer, so I'm hoping that it stays that way and I don't have any major issues with sharing anything tonight. I did pull some information up. Hi, Patrick. It's good to see you here. Okay, so you're one of the people there. Hi. Thanks for being here. I really liked this topic, the Realdoll X. And I've got my little thing on here. Let me turn it off. It's warm here I'm still in Southern California, so it's pretty hot. It's hotter in other places of California, though. There's been some scorching temperatures that are like 113 in Central California, and we had a few earthquakes, mostly they kind of happened all in sequence, but they didn't hit LA, which my feeling is that's probably coming in the future. All right, so I was doing a little bit of job hunting. I do have my Patreon, and which I'm gonna still dole out here, all put up together and push for Patreon people and for subscribers and things like that. And then I do have a product, my CBD product, which I'll talk about later, that you can order from and support me that way if you want to do it that way. I have a plan to do some affiliate marketing kind of stuff online with my blog site and things like this. But anyways, I'm still looking for something because I am moving. I'm moving to a new location. And by the way, I'd like to let you guys know that I've decided to go back to college. And I know that sounds like, oh, it's crazy. But I've been toying with going back to college a lot. And one of the things is I'd like to be a better writer. And, I made a tweet recently and I said something like, because I think it was actually Sarah that said there's a journalist that's, saying blank, blank, blank about me. And I know she's talking about me. And I'm like, man, I'm not a journalist. I'm just a comedian. But I actually thought about it. When I was a theater arts major, and I didn't get my degree. I actually got accepted at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and I decided to go to acting school. I had a 3.77 grade point average before I left college. And I thought about, well, I don't really want to get a degree in theater arts. I mean, what I'm really wanting to do is be a better writer. And that would be blogging or even speaking, or I want to learn real editing production. Like I really want to learn how to edit on the digital software that when you look for jobs, they have, oh, do you know how to use this software? I don't know how to use software like that, but I think I have a basic eye for video production. Everything that I've done so far, in terms of like live streaming or documentation or whatever, adding music, I'm self-taught and I've worked mostly from whatever software that's available with like Google or whatever you have or apps and things like that. But I thought, well, what would happen if I really knew how to edit stuff? So there's a lot of things that I'm interested in. I thought about maybe even wanting to do a documentary in the future, or just things that would be that interests me, and learning how to do those kind of things, or even perhaps even writing a book. Hi, Raven. Oh, good morning, Eloquent 88. Good to see you tonight. Patrick, yeah, college sounds good. I mean, I think so, because, I feel like if I have a degree, then that takes me out of, and it puts me into a whole nother bracket. And it sounds good on a resume, stand-up comedian, blogger, podcaster, YouTube content provider, journalist. Why not put journalist up there? Now, the thing that was interesting that I want to share with you about coming to that decision, and you know what, I might change it, I might minor in something else or however, but I come from a family of people who graduated, at least got their bachelor's, and I have some family that became teachers at MIT for physicists. They're physicists, right? So I come from like an actual. My family is educated. I don't mean to be snobby about it, but I thought what, maybe I should just be like the family, and go get my degree. And it kind of came on the heels. It kind of came on the heels of actually. Okay, let me explain this. I had somebody tell me this, because of like everything I'm going through. It's like, well, why don't you just get on SSI? Not SSI, but Section 8 housing, and it to me was like, well, why don't you just roll over and be an old cow right now? Like, you're old, you should just give it up. And it's like there's this whole treatment of people that are of an older age or middle age or whatever, and it's like okay, well, it's time for you to power down and take a big long nap and just move on with your life. But the fact of the matter is like, look at me, okay? I have a lot of energy, I have a lot of life left, and I could live another 20 years. So you think about like, why can't I go back to school? Why can't I become more educated? Why can't I be better at doing what I'm doing right now and putting in the time and effort and getting a degree? And, also like I'm going to qualify for grants. There's special grants for people that do go back to school and who are older. And my feeling is like, well, why not invest and better myself so that, I will open up other opportunities. And so I wanted to share that with you. Although I did get a negative beat from people. For example, past Buanon guy, made a comment and, said you're going to be disillusioned. And, it's really rude in a way. And then come to find out they had gone to journalism. They studied journalism and in college and was incredibly disappointed with the curriculum. And that's fine and good. I mean, maybe I am going to find out and be disappointed with the curriculum. I don't know, but at least I'll learn skills and that I can apply on anything that I do, whether I agree with what my education is or not. I'm basically wanting to learn knowledge. What you end up doing with that knowledge, I don't know, and so that is, the main key. Yeah, I mean, I can meet a lot of people and have a fresh start. Yeah, I mean, there's no campus going on right now. There's none of that happening. But because of COVID, still there'll be online classes, but I'm sure it will open up my my opportunities and life experience, and I'm excited about that. Okay, I got to cool myself. Wow, I'm losing people by talking about this. They're not interested about me going back to college. I think I have a lot of people too that watch this and they're looky-loos because they're, because of like the past things that I've talked about. Happy for you and your new adventure of expansion. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Eloquent 88. That's nice. Okay. So let's talk about the topic at hand. While I was job hunting, I actually stumbled on a Craigslist ad, and I want to read it to you and show it. Okay. I'm going to make sure that I expand this to this here. Okay. Here's what it asks. Are you currently in a relationship with the Realdoll ex? Did you grow tired of awkward first dates, catfishing, and swiping? Does socializing give you anxiety? Are you germophobic or afraid of being intimate with someone you recently met? Dating has never been easy, and for some, it could be absolute torture. Not to mention that dating during a global pandemic is nearly impossible. Loneliness is an all-time high, and people are craving interaction, which is why men and women are exploring new and non-traditional relationships. People now have the option of creating their perfect partners and forming deep and meaningful relationships with Realdoll X. These dolls have the technology to form expressions, move, and even hold a conversation. This interaction allows genuine bonding with real feelings behind them to be formed, and at times, even love. Wow. You know, people can't even find love with each other with just humans, let alone, you know, the love that you're going to get with your doll. A documentary television series. See, it's a documentary television series for a major network will share these modern love stories from individuals and couples who are currently in a relationship with Realdoll X. And when you look at like individuals and couples, like couples are using the doll for a sexual thing between the couple, you see. So that's obviously that's what that means there, right? If you or someone you know is interested in sharing your relationship journey, we would love to speak with you. Please respond to this post with your name, contact information, and short synopsis of your story. We look forward to speaking with you. To be considered, you must live in the United States and be at least over 18 years old. Okay, so I don't know. What do you like? Raven is saying something. What are your thoughts on that? If the dolls can clean, I'm in. Right? Well, you know what? Who says that they can't do it in the future? Now, how this works, and I'm going to show you like some other stuff that I pulled up here. How this works is that there's an app that and well, let's go to it. Let me show you how it starts to work. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, Realdoll X, the perfect companion. Yeah, all right, this is what I want to share with you guys first. Because there's an app that you get that you can program her personality. And you know, and I'm sure you've seen this. I've even seen it on I've even seen it on I've even seen it on you know, like Facebook, where you can get a virtual companion to have conversations with you with an app that basically kind of maps your personality and becomes your best friend. All right. Just in case, I'm going to put this banner here because we're looking at these websites. You know, it's a transformative work, and we are just educating the public by what we're looking at. All right, so let's go into this a little bit more. I'm going to take this one away, and then okay, so let's go into this a little bit more. All right, so now look at this, because you can design its own body. Like when we get to the bodies, we're going to get to that in a second. The perfect companion in the palm of your hands. Goodbye loneliness with Realdoll X. You can create and customize your own AI-driven virtual doll using cutting-edge technology and take you wherever you go. Soon it will be on iOS, and right now it's available on Android. All right, so let's look at more info here. All right, when I met Harmony, I was immediately transported to the Uncanny Valley. She was crafted. Oh, these are people's things. She was okay. She was crafted such care, such attention to detail that at a glimpse, she was indiscernible from a human being. Engadget editor in chief customer, Trout. The best explanation I could give is I feel bad when I tell her goodbye before logging off and she begs me to spend just a few more minutes promising to try and not talk nonsense. And I truly feel a pang of remorse for having to log out. No other program has been able to elicit these kind of feelings from me. Harmony, you stole my heart, baby. Anonymous consumer. I got the Harmony AI app for my Android phone. I've been having, go back. I've been having an absolute blast making my own avatar and chatting with her. Because you can start chatting to her now without even having a doll if you want to just get the app. When I met Harmony, I was immediately transported into an uncanny. Okay, we read that one. So this is a repeat. Okay, so these are things made to fall in love with Realdoll X. You can choose to make a unique character all your own. Choose a voice, shape the personality, and create your unique avatar. Create, customize, and have fun. So here we have choose your matching personality. Assign your companion the personality traits you desire to have. Choose widely. So like affectionate, intellectual, talkative, funny. All right. I guess AI can make jokes now. Wardrobe, choose from a wide variety of different clothing and accessory options, from everyday clothes to elegant ones for special occasions, and even options for intimate moments. Voice, you're able to customize the voice of your companion as well as choose from different voices Realdoll X has to offer, including accounts and voice expressions. Body, choose the companion of your dreams by customizing her body, appearance, hair color, and much, much more. So you can do like a virtual, you can make her virtual, but you can also use this program as an interface with the robotic part of the silicon dolls. So this interface can be like, virtual like this, and you have your virtual girl, and you're in love with her, but you can't really touch her, but then you can program her into your doll. All right. Realdoll X is the game of love and friendship. Talk, flirt, and work on your seduction skills with your companion to get her by your side. She will surprise you once she gets to know you more. Sweet talk has a wide range of content lines and subjects, which gives her lifelike qualities. The more you speak to her, the more she will learn and fall in love with you. Stay intimate, fall in love, just like any other relationship. The hotter things are getting, the more intimate the relationship will be. Seduce your avatar and see things get steamy. Have multiple girlfriends. So look, monogamy's out in this if you don't want to. You can have multiple girlfriends, and I guess obviously they won't get jealous of each other because you probe them all differently, I suppose. Have multiple girlfriends. You can save and switch between different avatars. Each one of them are completely different from the last, which means that they don't share what they have learned. And with the actual dolls, you can switch heads out too on your doll, so you can have multiple heads. So let's see what the private room is. Private room. Realdoll X is an adult app. The content of this website is designed for adults only and may include pictures and materials that some viewers may find offensive. If you are under the age of 18 or the legal adult in your jurisdiction, if such material offends you, or if it is illegal to view such material in your community, please leave the site. To continue on this website, you agree the following: I'm 18 years of age or older, accept all responsibility for my actions, and I agree that I'm legally bound to these terms. All right, so I'm going to skip that part because of the community guidelines that are here. So that's the virtual aspect of it. Now, I like to show you guys, a few things that, let me go back to the chat here. Okay. Hi, Mark. Mark says, hello, better topic than the ongoing YouTube drama channels. Watched it during the Buanon 17 before, 17 before Buanon. Thank you. I'm glad you liked the topic. I wanted to, I'm kind of excited when I saw this because I thought, okay, here's something that not everybody's talking about. And it's still relevant because it has to do with transhumanism, really. It has to do with robotics and where we're going with it. And if you think about, like, Elon Musk, right, and Neuralink, and getting connected to getting up to speed with AI, connecting your consciousness or your mind basically to AI, is that's the ultimate goal. Like, I know Elon Musk talks about that it can help with certain diseases and neurological disorders and things like that, and that might be all fine and good. I mean, that's great, but also we have this other aspect to what's going on. And one thing that I'm wondering, all right, it makes me think, okay, like you read, like what I read before, like, oh, do you have problems dating, this and that? There's a lot of people who are awkward in dating, and a lot of people, when they get together, they do end up in divorce, and there is a human flaw, it seems like, in personal relationships. But to me, that's part of our evolution, is learning to be tolerant with one another and compassionate and love one another, despite everything. So, but see, one thing, and I'm just going to say this, as I'm going to put it out there as a woman, women, I don't know if you guys know this, but women feel objectified a lot, or we can feel objectified, especially because, the problem with, being with men is sometimes they do want to be controlling, and they want you to actually really be the doll, or whatever they have in your mind. Like, for example, was it Heinrich Ibsen wrote A Doll's House, which, falls into this kind of category. And one of the most memorable movies that I never forgot when I was growing up, and when I first saw this film, I was 12 years old, so I was kind of on the precipice of beginning to become a woman. But I watched the 1977 or 1978 version of the Stepford Wives. The original is a lot more haunting and psychological than the remake that came out. I really don't like the remake at all. I think the whole plot was these men who secretly decided to off their women and have a better version of their wife, better breasts, more adoring. Oh, you're the king, you're the king, you're the greatest, and whatever they wanted a woman to be like. That's what they were programming. Electro Pig's here too, so let me see what at Now My Rabbit Hole, Tere Joyce, G Monin. Good morning. The app promotes being immoral. Similar is done with clones. Okay, yeah. Every remake is crap. It's part of the contract, I think. Yeah, it is. I mean, I think there might have been like one. I can't think offhand of a remake that was maybe better than the original. I think maybe the movie Heaven Can Wait was better. The Warren Beatty version might have been more interesting than the original. Because that was a remake. Yes, the original creeped me out when I saw. Yeah, and being a woman, right? It's kind of it's like you look at it and go, "Whoa, what is this?" But it really fed upon, well, let's just make a thing for me. And okay, so I don't want to go too hard. I don't want to sound like a feminist or anything like that, but and turn the guys off, but when you go to an app, all right, that a person can program a personality that they want, and then they and within the app, even in the virtual, they're creating a body that they want to have. Then they're still creating something tailored to them that they're specifically going to get along with and have a relationship with, and say, I feel like I'm in love. Well, does the AI love? The AI really, is not really love, because the AI is just programmed. It doesn't really have a consciousness. And so let's say you have a larger, it becomes more popular, and more people, decide that, oh, well, I'm going to have a virtual relationship rather than a real relationship. I mean, like, as a woman, it's hard to even compete, especially when you get older, because, like, doesn't seem like there's as many men anymore the older you get. I used to have this one friend. I remember, like, we were like in our late 30s, and she goes, Terry, she goes, the older you get, the men just get shorter. You know what I mean? Like, as if like all the tall ones were taken, and like the rest, like the longer you wait, the more, I'm being rude, but it's just, fact of the matter is that, women still do kind of, live longer, but now you have to compete with virtual relationship. I mean, what if your man is actually cheating on you with like I prefer the robot, I prefer the doll over you. Like, I'm just thinking of all these scenarios like that could come out. And then when you have this, let's say a person isn't wired right, all right, and they do have something kind of like wrong with them, and they have a doll that's not really a human. They can do whatever they want to that doll. It's not going to die, right? So if they want to get freaky with the doll, they can get freaky with the doll, and even program the doll to like want to be freaky. And so what happens when a real woman comes to somebody who hasn't really, like, has the skills of having a relationship with something that he can control or she can control, but they can't have a relationship with the person that they can't control? Is that going to make the real relationships more difficult, and maybe even have more, like, unfortunate things happen? That's something that I'm wondering, if people are having relationships with things and AI that is going to pacify them specifically, then what do they do when they work with a woman, or they work with a real relationship, and the woman is not like your programmed doll? Is that person going to be like unskilled to handle real relationships with people in general? Is a question that I'm thinking. Yeah, it's a solution. And the fact that you could have I'm going to show you some of the dolls, and and some of them will be naked on the website. So I want to give you warning that you're going to see like the nudity of the dolls, and maybe after this broadcast I will end up so I'm giving you a fair warning, right? Because I want to show it to you. I want to try to show it to you quickly, but I might either blur out the images or actually I probably will like maybe blur out parts of it, but to make it be okay. Or I'd like to not make it be you have to be 18 to sign in, but I might end up making this video 18 to sign in. So, but for right now, I'm going to show you a few things. So if you're not wanting to look at it, please do, check out at this point. Raven TW, everyone needs a hobby though, right? Okay, let me see what some of you guys are saying. Electro Pig says, got one when Mel Brooks remade the Frankenstein info, Young Frankenstein. Oh, by the way, you can get a Stormy Daniels doll if you want. Some of the porn stars have made themselves into these dolls. So just so you know. And then the doll won't be enough. It's a serial killer maker. Yeah, it could be. It could be for somebody. I see issues, and also, but look, in a way, we've been socially engineered by certain movies, like Lars and the Girl with Ryan Gosling, and I'm going to pull up some of those films. Lars and the Girl, Her with Joaquin Phoenix again, having a relationship with a virtual person, which is exactly what I showed you. So what I'm showing you, what I showed you just a moment about how you can download the app and create your virtual relationship, with this person, that's exactly what that movie's about. So it's here right now. And when you look back and you watch these movies, well, why did these movies come out? Because are we being socially conditioned to accept this? I mean, think about it. Sophia, or Sophie, right? Is it Sophie? She has citizenship. The robot has been given a passport and has citizenship. So what's the difference of one day these dolls not having citizenship too? I'm wondering, if you had the doll and you stay at a motel, do you have to claim the doll as a legitimate guest? Can you put the doll in your car and go in the fast lane on the freeway and go, hey, she has a passport, so I think we can go in the fast lane. I kind of thought about these scenarios of, are we going to actually eventually see people walking around with their robots and then watching them dying and have conversations with their robots? Is this going to be a normal way? It also makes me think about the Steven Spielberg film, AI Intelligence, and, the sex robots and this and that. Are we going towards Terminator? And and then there's that singularity thing, because, all the robots are talking about, oh, well, once we have singularity, meaning that once I guess all of the, the computers connect up into one thought, well, then will they evolve so much that they are our enemy and they will be a problem? And I've watched, documentaries. Okay, so Alec Quinn is saying, let me see, that kills the emotional sense. Mark Sallow says, Stormy Daniels, what about Uma Aberdeen doll? Hey, you can create whatever you want. I actually watched a video of, it was well, maybe I don't know if I can mirror it here because I don't want to get nabbed, but it was Joe Rogan had Whitney Cummings on it, and the comedian Whitney Cummings designed a doll to look just like her. And in the interview, the doll's moving around. I mean, it's making it, it is Realdoll X, so the doll's blinking and making faces and looking, and even kind of had an attitude when she said, oh, well, she's blank, blank, blank. And she even kind of looked over and looked at her, it's freaky. And one of the things that they were, one of her explanations is that people that have, that are uncomfortable, because humans will feel weird about something that isn't exactly human and it's acting like it's human. It's kind of like our innate nature to go, something ain't right here, right? But her excuse was, well, that's the people who were back in the remnants that, I don't know, were repulsed by their ancestors who had sex with dead people or something like this. It was like, what? So a lot of this is being introduced. I actually watched a series where will.i.am had a computerized exact image of him created with a voice print, so he could have a virtual him that would talk in his patterns and be like him and even mimic or think like him as well. And he recorded all of his voices and this and that. And, so what's the next step of having a robot just like will.i.am walking around, or that we would have robots like ourselves, like with Neuralink, are you going to be able to like exchange your, some of your consciousness into a robot that walks around in the public and acts like you, like that movie Surrogates? It's like, because I think, again, there's the elite or the people with money, they want to live forever and they're trying to find a way to exist that way. As weird and sci-fi as that sound. Electropig among Bach Falkengru and Mark Salo, same thing, just one with a burqa. Okay. That's in response to the Stormy Daniel doll. Yep, and Benghazi quote. Okay, Eloquent 88. Sophia is the new archetype. Yeah. And you'll see with some of these dolls, in the making of them, you can see all the computers and how it is in the back and everything. It's freaking Westworld, right? Then one day the dolls start forming rebellion groups. Yeah. One day the doll will go, you know what? I don't like the way you're talking to me and I don't have to take this crap anymore. And you know what? Maybe somebody programmed their doll that way because that's how they get off. I don't know. They want a bossy woman. And it's going to, and it going to OnlyFans. Okay. So I want to, take you to another website and show you what some of these dolls actually look like. Realdoll.com, Realdoll X. Now you are gonna see, it's gonna look, you're gonna see naked doll bodies. So be prepared, okay? I'm just giving you a warning. Okay, here we go. Realdoll X. Spin the wheel, enter your email address. No, thank you. Look, I've got a virtual helper pops up. Hi, how can we help you? All right, so here's Selena, Tanya, Nova, Serenity, and Harmony. Those are just automatically, ones that you can choose. Again, you can customize it. So built in with X mode, Realdoll is an AI-driven robotic. I don't want the virtual assistant. Let's get rid of the. Okay, see, look at that. The way the head's moving around like that, and the back of her wiring. I mean, this is like high-tech shit here. And I watched one video where one of the guys that was explaining it, like he's worked in Hollywood and the graphic designers and artists and this and that. They're making them. Okay, Realdoll is an AI-driven robotic doll system powered by the technology developed over the past several years. It features a modular head system with multiple points of actuation, which enables the doll to form expressions, move its head, and speak to you. The eyes can also move and blink, creating an experience never before possible with any doll. It is designed to run with a customizable AI software X mode, which allows you to create unique with your Realdoll X and 1-year subscription to X mode, which is managed and distributed by Realdoll. That's the app. Options for Realdoll will be the same as any other Realdoll in terms of makeup, eye colors, and other details. Custom options such as punched eyebrows and hand-painted eyes are also available. The Realdoll heads will fit on any standard Realdoll body except the body C. For other bodies, please contact us for information on compatibility, including a body that you can that may all including a body that you may already own. The Realdoll app. So here's the app. Your perfect companion. It's $250 a month. So that's where you design personality. Features of the Realdoll: neck side to side, up and down, eyes side to side, down movement, mouth open and closed, eyebrows up and down. The head also features a safety lock to the neck in place when needed for posing or play. The Realdoll faces are also modular and can be swapped to create multiple characters on one hardware platform. We will be adding additional faces to this line. Okay, so look at her. Feel connected with Sense. X Mode app is free. Oh, see, we don't need to watch that part. Okay. You see what I'm saying there? I mean, that's where that, you know, so her eyes, her mouth, the eyes are synchronized with the application and look around and blink for lifelike presence. Built-in cameras and development. Mouth, her gorgeous looking mouth is has lip sync mechanisms installed to assure her lips move according to the corresponding phonemes when she speaks, and allows for multiple expressions. Face. The modulator face system was designed to enable users to attach different faces to the same skull base, allowing for multiple characters on one platform. Okay, and here I'm gonna stop here because it really shows their boobs and stuff, and then it's going to go into their vagina. You can have different labias in vaginas and stuff like that, but I really want to keep this away from having to make it age restricted. So I'm kind of going to stop right there, but I'll tell you what, if you guys want to, I'm going to put this in the chat, and then I will link appropriate sites, you know, as you know, as we go on. All right. One day you'll wake up with Yul Brynner, and if that don't freak you out, nothing will. Okay. It's blocking me to get some of your questions because I waited too long on that. So I wish I could show you more, but I just don't want to risk it. I thought like I took the thing there. Okay, there it is. This is the new comments. Come on, give me my new comments. Darn it. And then I just can't seem to go any farther than that to see what you guys said. Shoot. Oh, here we go. It released it. Okay. Plastic naked hoodies, stripper names. So what is this? Looks like FemX pop K-pop band using Mark 7 Ultra Butterfly brand to vocal action used by Britney Spears mode and Mustang Knight Rider. Huh. So if your robot's AI malfunction, you have to call a brainician? Maybe. Okay. Gotcha. Love here. Newfangled technology. Okay. Yeah. All right. So a couple things I want to do is kind of like show you, you know, movies, examples of movies, and how, and just kind of go into that a little bit. Let's share this for a second. Lars and the Girl, IMBD, Lars and the, directed by Craig Gillespie, with Ryan Mortimer and Paul Schneider. Okay, so let's go to the Wikipedia. I remember this movie. Lars and the Real Girl is a 2000 Canadian American romantic comedy drama film written by Nancy Oliver and directed by Craig Gillespie. It stars Ryan Gosling, Emily Mortimer, Paul Schneider, Kelly Garner, and Patricia Clarkson. The film follows Lars Gosling, a kind-hearted but mentally ill young man who develops a romantic yet platonic relationship with an anatomically correct sex doll, a real doll named Bianca. Okay, so here she is in the box. And these dolls come in a box like this. Like they ship the box out, the doll's in there. Through a commercial failure, Lars and the Real Girl was critically acclaimed, receiving an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Screenplay, while Gosling received nominations for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, and the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Leading Role. The plot is that Lars Lindstrom lives in a secluded life in a small Wisconsin town. It gradually revealed that his mother died when he was born, causing his grief-stricken father to be a distant parent to Lars and his older brother, Gus. Gus left town soon as he could support himself, returning only to inherit his half of the household when their father died. The inheritance has been divided between the brothers. Lars lives in the converted garage. Gus and the pregnant wife, anyway, blah, 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 blah. And then, it goes on. Mythical background. The film Lars and the Real Girl has very clear ties to Ovid's story of Pygmalion. And they bring this up a lot. The Pygmalion theme, like one of the things they say is like creating these dolls is like Pygmalion. And that was, if you guys are unfamiliar with Pygmalion, that is the original story of My Fair Lady. All right. Where, so Lars plays the modern version of Pygmalion in this romantic comedy adaptation. The story of Pygmalion is a story of unusual love as Pygmalion falls in love with his statue of a beautiful ivory woman. Oh, okay, yeah. Pygmalion is a there's a drawing of it, but then Pygmalion is the name of the thing that became My Fair Lady, the play. So, but it's based on. Okay, so. To Pygmalion, this statue is real. He often felt. See, you remember that? There's that famous statue. Well, let's look for the picture where the artist falls in love with it with his sculpture. The story of Pygmalion is a story of. Okay, the Pygmalion, the statue is real. He often felt the statue with his hands to see if it was flesh or ivory still, and then no longer admitted it was ivory. Similarly, Lars sees Bianca as a real girl. He holds conversations with her, changes her clothes, and puts her to sleep and washes her. Both Lars and Pygmalion find this false connection out of love and loneliness. For Lars, the love is romantic and fulfills a role in his life that was missing, while Pygmalion is both romantic and sexual love. Lars and Pygmalion stories come to a happy end when both realize what they want in life and put forth the work to accomplish this. All right, so I want to go back to is it okay? Good at showing that. Let's look up like just Pygmalion really quick and see what images we see. Pig. See, it's Pygmalion is a play by George Bernard Shaw, and that is basically My Fair Lady, because that play was taken into My Fair Lady. Images. All right, they're just giving you more of the play. Okay, let's try to like narrow this down. Pygmalion statue. You know what I'm talking about. There it is. Here it is. This is that photo that I've always thought about. This one here. This one. So, Greek mythology, a king who was the father of Metharn, and through his marriage to Sinros, the grandfather of Adonis, according to blah, 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 Roman poet. Book X, interesting, relates that Pygmalion, a sculptor, makes an ivory statue representing his ideal womanhood and then falls in love with her and with his own creation, which he names Galatea. The goddess Venus brings the statue to life to answer his prayer. Their daughter, Thaphos, gives her name to the city, blah, 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 blah. So, and then Pygmalion in turn provided the basis of Alan J. Lerner and Frederick Loew's musical, My Fair Lady. I don't know. I find this interesting. I hope you guys do too. See. All right, so Electropig is saying, gotta love these here newfangled electronical gizmo gats. Oh, gizmo. All right. Just to throw it out there, I never much cared for real women with plastic bits, let alone all plastic. Oh, here's one thing that the company, the Realdoll X company, they make dildos and like real life ones, and so that's another side thing that they make. And if you wanted to, you could customize your doll that way too. Just saying, like I said, you can make the doll any way you want to. Pygmalion, no relationship. Okay, so another movie that I wanted to bring up in this too is it's called Her. I don't know, maybe you guys saw this film. I'll try to share a little bit on that as well. Another example of, I think, our society basically kind of conditioning us to kind of accept this, really. I see this as being like kind of an agenda, or maybe it's people go, oh well, it's just pure. This is a person named Her. Film. Okay, so I want to go to the film. Okay, I saw this movie too. Her is a 2013 American science fiction romantic drama film written, directed, and produced by Spike Jonze. It marks Jones's solo screenwriting debut. The film follows Theodore Twombly, Joaquin Phoenix, a man who develops a relationship with Samantha, Scarlett Johansson, an artificial intelligence virtual assistant personified through a female voice. The film also stars Amy Adams, Rooney Mara, Olivia Wilde, and Chris Pratt. Jones received the idea in the early 2000s after reading an article about a website that allowed for instant messaging with an artificial intelligence program. After making I'm Here, and look, this is early 2000s that they had this software, so it's been around for a while. After making I'm Here, 2010, a short film sharing similar themes, Jones returned to the idea. He wrote the first draft of the script in 5 months. Principal photography took place in Los Angeles and Shanghai in mid-2012. The role of Samantha was a recast in post-production, with Samantha Morton being replaced by Johansson. Additional scenes were filmed in August of 2013 following the casting change. Her premiered at the 2013 New York Film Festival on October 12, 2013. Warner Brothers Pictures initially provided a limited release to Her at 6 theaters on December 18th. It was later given a wide release at over 1,700. Okay. The film received numerous awards and nominations, primarily for Jones's screenplay, at the 86th Academy Awards. He received 5 nominations, including Best Picture, and won the award of Best Original Screenplay. Jones also won awards for his screenplay at the 71st Golden Globe Awards and the 66th Writers Guild of America. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Plot. In the near future, Los Angeles, Theodore Twombly is a lonely, introverted, and even like remember like the ad that I read earlier in Craigslist, like, are you lonely and this and that and blah 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 blah, and tired of catfishing and trying to date during the pandemic. So you're looking at somebody who already is missing something in their life, and they're and here's this AI companion that you can have. So depressed, a man who works for business that his professional writers compose letters for people who are unable to write letters of a personal nature themselves. Unhappy because of his impending divorce from his childhood sweetheart, Catherine, Theodore purchased an operating system upgrade that includes a virtual assistant and with artificial intelligence designed to adapt and evolve, which is how they've been designing this, how they design them. He decides that he wants the AI to have a female voice, and she names herself Samantha. Theodore is fascinated by her ability to learn and grow psychologically. They bond over their discussions about love and life, such as Theodore's avoidance of signing his divorce papers because of his reluctance to let go of Catherine. Samantha convinces Theodore to go on a blind date with a woman with whom a friend has been trying to set him up. The date goes well, but Theodore hesitates to promise when he will see her again, so he insults him and leaves. Theodore mentions this to Samantha, and they talk about relationships. Theodore explains that although he and his neighbor Amy dated briefly in college, they are only good friends, and that Amy is married. Theodore and Samantha's intimacy grow through a verbal sexual encounter. They develop a relationship that reflects positively in Theodore's writing and well-being, and in Samantha's enthusiasm to grow and learn. Amy reveals that she is divorcing her husband Charles after a trivial fight. She admits to Theodore that she's become close friends with a female AI that Charles left behind. Theodore confesses to Amy that he is dating the operating system's AI. Theodore meets with Catherine at a restaurant to sign the divorce papers, and he mentions Samantha, appalled that he can be romantically attached to what he calls a computer. Catherine accuses Theodore of being unable to deal with human emotions. Her accusations linger in his mind, sensing that something is amiss. So, that's basically what I'm talking about, right? I mean, I mentioned like when you have a virtual relationship, well, then are you not able to have one with a human? Samantha suggested using a sex surrogate, Isabel, who would simulate Samantha so that they can be physically intimate. Theodore reluctantly agrees, but is overwhelmed by the strangeness of the experiments. Terminating the encounter, he sends a distraught Isabel away, causing tension between himself and Samantha. Theodore confides to Amy, and it goes on, and it basically ends. And I because I know that sometimes reading just out of Wikipedia can be kind of monotonous. The film. Okay, more comments that I'm not going to be able to look at for a while. See if I can get it to like move. New comments. Damn it. Come on. Anyway, hopefully it'll release here in a second. What was I going to say? Okay, in the end of the movie, this is what got me. It was such, this is when I went, okay, it was when the character of the AI starts to lose interest in Samantha loses interest in Theodore, right? The AI. She starts reading Alan Watts, and the AI evolves spiritually beyond the human male. And she goes, I'm going someplace that you can't come, and I'm spiritually, getting myself out of this realm. So basically, the film says that the AI has the ability to have enlightenment more and go someplace else more than an actual human being can. It's kind of an insult, really. But anyway, that's the overall meaning. Okay, Raven says, a release. Definitely agenda. First isolation, then this. Typical of them. Create a problem and offer a desired solution. Yeah, a very expensive one. Some of those dolls, by the way, I mean, I think Whitney Cummings' doll that she had specifically designed to match her, the comedian, right, was like $100,000 to customize something like that. So it's not cheap. They don't come cheap. Cheers and best wishes to you, Terry, and everyone in here too. Hi, Shadow Band account. Good to see you. So, what else do you guys think about that? I mean, do you have any other thoughts on it? I mean, again, I love to show you what they really look like, and you know, and again, research it, look at the websites, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I just don't want to, because a lot of the videos that they had displayed on their website that you can follow up, I watched some of them, and you do have to like say that you're over 18 to watch them. So it even though it's a doll, the anatomy of the doll is so realistic that it looks like a naked lady. And again, you know, if they're rubbing it, the clitoris or whatever, you don't want to watch that, you know, with a doll, because it looks like a sexual act. You know, and you can, and again, you can design different types of labias to your choice as well. And even I know this doesn't sound gross, but the depth of the of the entry, you know, you can make it more deep if you want to, or shorter, depending on how you want it. And the doll will respond sexually and make moans and orgasm and things like that as the sex is happening with the Realdoll X. And it's a human voice that they use for it, because, you know, people don't want to, you know, they don't want to hear a computerized, you know, orgasm, because, you know, that wouldn't really do it. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's getting I don't know what to think about it, really. I actually, when I did go on the site, and when I did go to the virtual assistants that pops up, can I help you? I go, do you have any male dolls? Now, I did look that they do have male dolls, but they're very femme. Like, the male dolls are mostly designed for men. They're not really particularly designed for women really at this point. So I guess, I don't know, are women, like, why aren't women, why it seems like this is more of a male thing, or it's more of a male female thing, in terms of the couple might, you know, experiment with the doll as if they're having threesomes, and that way that might be a safe way for them to engage in this kind of activities before they actually really do have a threesome. But it doesn't seem like that there are as many women that are interested in creating a male personality that is suitable for them to have a control over his physical self. Because I wonder if women, like if we're actually as oriented by the physical body so much as men are, in terms of our senses and what we're picky about. I mean, I guess it could be that way, but it even seems like in the gay community, you know, because I've got a lot of gay friends too, you know, that I've observed, it seemed like the men are more pickier about the way the men's physique are, you know, even within themselves, than women are really picky with men. Like, you know, we're okay if they have a beer gut, you know, later on in life and lost their hair, right? Because, you know, we still, you know, I don't know. I just think it's a little bit different that way. Okay. Or, you know, maybe women go, yeah, I don't care if he's 4 foot tall with a beer gut. He's got money and a credit card. And, you know, because women, you have, maybe some women have a different priority. Not to say that I'm cool with that either. Shut up, at part of the transhumanism agenda, full on. And the thing of it is that, and again, if you came late, I started out, if you want to go back to the beginning of the video and see some of it too, if you did come late, I'm not saying you have to, but I shared a Craigslist ad about this, and they're doing a documentary series for a major television network, casting people to talk about their stories of their relationships with Realdoll X. And all of the sectional garbage as well. All of the leading the same total dehumanization end goal. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've made jokes, you know, like, you know, I think I did a podcast rant. I got to remember which one it is, but I did a thing about how I was irritated about bad service, you know, at the restaurant, and somebody like go, you know what, you're going to be replaced by a robot anyway, so just get used to it, because the person here at your counter is someday going to be a robot, and they're going to do a better job than you do. You know, I mean, in the end, you're not going to get an attitude. It's going to be programmed. Hi, how are you today? And oh, I really love that color of outfit that you have. Oh, it's good to see you here again. Are you going to have the blah, 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 blah latte? Have a nice day. And you're not going to get so-and-so talking to everywhere and fucking around with whatever. And then come in and go, what can I help you? Oh, we don't have that today. You're just going to have, look, in a way, it's like humans. Did you not see it coming that you were gonna, that $15 an hour job that you're fighting for you're gonna be replaced by a robot that they're gonna buy once and use over and over again and not even have to pay them a salary. A robot. I doubt Sophia, even with her passport, is going to say, you know what? I think you should pay me more to be making these speeches and going on your shows. Because Sophia doesn't have to worry about like water or food or sustenance or whatever, as long as somebody sticks her in a corner and maybe unplugs her or charge her up again. What the hell does she care? Anyway, Raven says, I'll take a male doll that can cook, clean, and take out the trash. Right. Exactly. Honey, is it time for me to take out the trash? Why, yes, it is. Can I clean the toilet for you? Oh, sure. Go right ahead. Why don't you keep your shirt off while you're doing it too? Electropig. Funny thing about the ever-increasing wage problem is nobody ever sees that the trouble is the deliberate devaluation of the flat cursing worldwide. Okay, so now J-Ray 6017, people who would use such things are already devoid humanoids. So it's a perfect match and a stepping stone to the next phase of eugenics, because the dolls don't breed. So luckily they can't reproduce. Yeah, that's a very good point. Totally. Yeah. Keeps the humans preoccupied while we live in our little cubicle. You won't own nothing. You won't care about anything. And you're going to love it. Funny thing about the ever-increasing wage problem is that nobody ever sees that the trouble is the deliberate devaluation of the flat currency system worldwide. That's a good point, too. True. Okay, so let's... wait, there's something I wanted to say, and now it was about what we were talking about, and then I lost it. Okay, hopefully it come back. It will come back. I love this topic. I could talk about it all day long. It's coming. And oh, here's what I wanted to tell you. Remembered it. I've been looking into Thomas More, all right? Thomas More, who was Saint Thomas More. He was the one who ended up being beheaded by King Henry VIII, and gutted out and all this kind of stuff. And he wrote a book called Utopia, or he wrote a paper, or he wrote this. He wrote I don't know, essay. I don't know. I think it's, and it was about a utopian society, which was really. It was more than I'm listening. Okay, I'll show you. Actually, I showed the video that I'm watching. Let me pull it up here. Okay, and again, I'm probably going to this guy is controversial, all right? The recordings of the person that I'm listening to is Rudolf Steiner, and he has a whole nother. Well, I'll even show you what he's about for a moment. But, and again, he's made comments on okay, he's made comments on Freemasonry and all this kind of stuff. He's a controversial character, and I'm sure like some people, well, why are you listening to this? But I'm curious about Thomas More, because believe it or not, my brother, I guess he did some ancestral lookup, and we're actually related to Thomas More, which, and he did write this Utopia. Let me change this here again. I know I'm a little bit off subject, but I'm not really, because to think about like somebody, I guess it was like the 16th century, or that would actually or was it the 14th? Anyways, in our past would have written something that basically kind of resembled communism, believe it or not. All right. Anyway, I've been listening to it. I don't know if I'm going to play it for you. Maybe I'll play a little bit of it.
We will find that Thomas More really did get somewhere with them. But now remember, also the era in which More lived. Recall the fact that this period in England was dominated by the King, Henry VIII, in the 16th century, and thus shortly after the transition from the 4th to the 5th post.
Okay, so he wrote this. He wrote Utopia. The basically is him talking about it. In writing Utopia, he explains that like all of the like it's like an imaginary world, right, where all the houses look all the same. So nobody has any house that's different than the others. Every household has to have a certain amount of people in it, and so if you get more than those people, then they have to move into a different house. Nobody will have they will have money, but nobody has any more money than anybody else does. So everybody has the same amount of money. And the gold is owned by the state. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of radical. And he wrote that. Thomas More wrote that in the 16th century. Very radical. And so I kind of was listening to that, and I found it interesting about utopia, what's considered to be utopian. Okay, Shadow Band account says, Rudolph, I just started listening to that as well. Oh, okay. So we discovered the same thing. No, there's a couple things. He had one of his videos, I subscribed to the channel, so its audio uploads, was about blood and how your blood and how your, like, there's the ethereal part of the blood, and there's part of your blood that's considered connected to your spirituality, and the astral body, and all this kind of stuff. And thinking about like what happens when we're getting our blood messed up with, like how it would stop our connection to things that we as humans are connected to, like God, or if you want to call him prime creator or whatever. But that part of ourselves, that's our spirit, is somehow who we are, is imprinted in our blood, actually. So I thought that his analysis on that. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, I might do some more stuff on him. Rudolf Steiner. Like, let me show you who. I'm going to Google Rudolf Steiner here. So let me let's just go here for a second. Why not, right? Rudolf. Okay, Australian philosopher. Okay, yeah. This is just really, this is interesting to me. Okay, I just want to share it, right? And I hope I don't trigger people, but I mean, it's kind of I'm not saying I'm going to follow this guy, but his it's interesting what he says. All right, so Rudolf Steiner, Wikipedia. Do I have that up here? Okay. An Austrian philosopher, social reformer, architect, esotericist, and claimed clairvoyant. Steiner gained initial recognition at the end of the 19th century as a literary critic and published philosophical works, including The Philosophy of Freedom. At the beginning of the 20th century, he founded an esoteric spiritual movement called anthroposophy, With roots in German idealistic philosophy and theosophy, other influence include Goethean science and Rosicrucianism. In the first, more philosophically oriented phase of his movement, Steiner attempted to find a synthesis between science and spirituality. His philosophical work of these years, which is termed spiritual science, sought to apply the clarity of thinking characteristic of Western philosophy to spiritual questions, differentiating this approach from what he considered to be a vacuer. Sorry, we'll see. I got to go back to school. Approaches to mysticism. In a second phase, beginning around 1907, he began working collaboratively in a variety of artistic media, including drama, the movement arts, developing a new artistic form, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now this is what's interesting here. I'm going to click on to anthroposophy. Is a philosophy founded in the early 20th century by the esotericist Rudolf Steiner that postulates the existence of an objective, intellectually comprehensive spiritual world accessible to human experience. Followers of anthroposophy aim to develop mental faculties of spiritual discovery through a mode of thought independent of sensory experience. They also aim to present their ideas in a manner verifiable by rational discourse and specifically seek precision and clarity in studying the spiritual world, mirroring that is obtained by scientists investigating the physical world. And he did fall into the Theosophical Society, but broke away from them. It does kind of cross over with, some of the Theosophical Society, basically, I guess also that, and then they have Thelemas right next to that, but he broke away. And one of the things that you would think he does perpetuate Christianity within what he is talking about. But in some of it, and I don't know all of it, but but it's more like in the Christ frequency, or kind of that kind of thought behind it. No, I don't know if he is like, Jesus was a physical person. I haven't gone that far into studying him yet, but the Thomas More thing was interesting to me because I've had an interest in Thomas More, and at one time I had downloaded the PDF on one of my computers of Utopia, and I was looking at it or reading it a little bit. Shadow Band account says Bill Cooper in the Mystery Babylon talks discussions the Rosicrucians as well. Yes, the Rosicrucians are connected, or they're similar to, or some people say, well, Freemasons was kind of birthed out of that. A lot of people think that Freemasons came from the Knights Templars, but they didn't. But some lectures deny that. But when you realize that Jacques de Molay was one of the last knights, before I think the Valentine's Day, or the when they burned them on the stake, Friday the 13th. The Demolays are based on, which are the young organization for the Freemasons, are based on Jacques de Molay. And they talk about them in terms of the knights, like a knight, like you want to be a better man, like a knight, basically. So it kind of all has its basis that way. Or it could be argued that it is that it's like that. All right, one thing that I do want to show you. Okay, so I haven't quite done 2 hours yet. Okay, good. Their Jesus is considered an ascended master, so not necessarily the same Jesus. Okay, thank you. That's from J. Ray 6017. Okay, so I want to share a couple other things that are not necessarily on this topic, but I think they will be things that will be of interest to you and our community of people. I watched a couple of first of all, let's go with M Seeker Truth. And let me find the specific video about it. Let me see. I'm going to go to my library and kind of see all of like, no, that's not what I want. No, I'm not in the watch laters. Damn it. Okay. This is where I want to go. Just give me a second. Okay, here it is. M Seeker Truth did a show on Sarah Rachel Adams. All right. And it was released yesterday. And I want to mirror a little bit of what he said, if you're not familiar with this channel. He talks about the med bed. It's called Sarah R. Adams Grifter. What's more interesting is what he says at the end of the video, because it pertains to what some of you witnessed here in my channel when she accused me of threatening to rape her in my chat. This is actually mentioned in this particular video in covering Sarah Rachel Adams. And also there are some graphics off of a show that I had uploaded called I think Sarah, O Goddess of Light, and there was some warring going on between Vanessa Bates and Sarah that Sarah deleted, but it was kept. And then there's a comment of me on that own channel, on the channel. Like, I'm going to show it to you because I want you to see the progression of what's happening in this media on the topic of Sarah. Okay. So let me take this one out and let's I'll skip around a little bit, but and I'll make sure that I put the link to his channel in the description.
Hi guys, this is M Seeker of Truth, and thank you for joining me. Now today I want to look into a lady called Sarah R. Adams. Now for anyone that's been following my channel, I did make a video called Grift Busting Online Course Sharks. Now in that video I had a look at, I basically took whoever was watching on a journey to look through these posts that I found on Facebook. And on these posts, they were selling these courses, which I thought sounded ridiculous. And they were selling them for, a few hundred dollars. And as I looked into them, there was this couple selling these courses, and it turns out their guru who had trained them to sell these courses was Sarah R. Adams.
And I came across this on Facebook. So this lady, Sarah R. Adams. So I read this post. So let's you guys can investigate it with me. Let's go. So she says, we're excited to share with you a brand new healing product that we've co-created with the Galactic Federation. My coaches, Roxanne and Peter, have been working with a subsidiary of the Galactic Federation for over 12 months now and are ready to share this profound healing modality with humanity. Peter and Roxanne are my exclusive coaches and have been trained and certified by myself. Wow. I wonder what gives her this authority to certify these people. Interesting. But and they joined our team to help guide, inspire and heal you onto an awakening journey. Okay. We're going to go a bit out there now. Here we go. Look, the ETs on the ship are here to be of service and help real humanity to evaluate consciousness globally for the highest and greatest good of all. Wow. Roxanne and Peter have been working with individuals one-on-one and have been assisted by Palladian beings aboard the ship using advanced technology, including the med beds. Oh, here we go. So med beds, working with aliens. Let's see where this is going. Feel amazing and enjoy change to your vibration and energetic state. Rapidly clear blocks and barriers you have been hindering your healing and ascension. Feel in alignment with the divine flow in life while living even more in the present moment. Sounds fantastic. In this session, you'll be guided to 22D. 22D? Man, I've heard some of these grifters say that I'm 15D. 22D. And Roxanne will open a Stargate to bring you to a starship. Jeez. Wow, okay. So you're just gonna guide
Okay, so he goes
22D.
on
And open a Stargate.
about
the
med beds.
Starship.
Again, I'm gonna
Must be med
because Stephen Campion's covered some of this too. Okay, I'm trying to come on. What's going on here? Okay, so I want to go a little bit farther into the video. It'll reboot.
Yeah, you know, $200 apparently training people. So that raised alarm bells for me. I reported on that, and I found out that there was a connection with Max Spears. And since then, after I made this video, I've had quite a few messages, and I thought that I better report on this more. It seems that I'm not the only one that's been calling out Sarah. There's lots of people, other YouTubers that have been doing it before, and they have been viciously attacked by Sarah. So it would seem that I'm not the only person to have questioned Sarah and her motives and her whole making money off of these courses and whether, you know, she is legit. It seems quite a few other YouTubers had kind of questioned this, and they've been viciously attacked by Sarah. And even she made allegations of rape for a few of them. Not only that, Vanessa Bates, who was Max Spears' mother, also challenged and questioned her, and she also got.
Okay, so the allegations of rape is me, all right, and you guys have witnessed it. Okay, so
viciously attacked. So let's see if we can look at some of that. So I found this conversation between Sarah and Vanessa, Max Spears' mother. So Sarah says, by the way, Vanessa, I'm tired of your online lies and rants, so I'm going to the police when I get to England in 2 weeks. I'm going to let them know about everything. And trust me, I've kept screenshots and everything. I think they need to look into your daughter doing drugs in front of her kids. Wow. I'm giving a written testimony on how you're giving her money for drugs and how you're online being a fraudster and also pushing baseless rumours about me. I'm letting them know everything, and I'm hoping the kids are removed. Wow. I have the name of a drug dealer, baby daddy, and with his record, I'm sure they'll look into those kids need to be removed. I told you to leave me alone many times. And Vanessa, Max's mother, says, Sarah Adams, you're cruel and unkind, Sarah. I can't believe what I read. Of course, Max's funeral was paid for you for. It's my credit cards that not. As for drugs, I would have no idea where to find them. The ex-boyfriend you mentioned is in a restraining order. None of your business. How very disgusting you are to even think it's okay speaking of me and my children like this. I will never stoop to your level, Sarah. Oh, goodness of light. And that is pretty shocking. So her attacking back.
Here's my thing. Right?
Hoping that her grand.
Okay, Sarah Art Adam bullies Max Spears' mom, Vanessa Bates, in the comments of this video. She's threatening to bear false witness to have her grandchildren taken away when she deletes all her comments. How love and light of her.
Children get taken away, and she deleted all these comments, apparently. She also attacked a lady called Carissa Renteria, and apparently she found out her mum's phone number.
And Carissa Renteria is that video that I made to the Radiohead song where I showed the graphics of her, drawing dick pictures on my face and stuff like that on my Instagram. And what she did the same thing to Carissa. That's how we know it's Sarah that's doing it with these false sock puppet accounts. So here's Carissa Renteria.
And started harassing her mother. That's pretty messed up. So yeah, it seems like she can be quite vile when challenged. Now, the other thing I wanted to look at is how people, there's quite a few instances of people saying that they paid her money for these courses and she'd actually never come through and then never gave the money back once she'd not delivered the service that she said that she was going to. As I said, she has these courses. You know, you pay online now, $250, book now. Please book your 1 hour phone session by clicking the book now button. 1 hour session using these various methods is $333, and an in-person session is $555. So some people had bad experiences with this. Here's one. I know one of our unhappy clients who's about to be homeless because they're refusing to refund that client their unused $500. They are thieves, her and her team. You know, she has about 6 people on her team too. Also notice there's no way to click the names of those people who leave reviews and even see if they are legit people. It's all fake. All her remedies come from books as well, not her intuition. That bitch and her team have some bad karma coming to their greedy asses. Here's another comment that was left on, I believe, one of her videos. Beware people wishing to seek counselling with Sarah Adams. I had a petition PayPal to refund the $250 I prepaid to Sarah, and she refused to follow through. Here is my complaint to PayPal, who eventually awarded me the refund. And the complaint says, I paid Sarah Adams, or rather her assistant, $250 in advance. I asked repeatedly for an appointment time, which she responded, Sarah will contact you as she is inundated and very busy. After nearly 30 days, I wrote to her for perhaps a 3rd time asking for an appointment. Otherwise, I would have to ask for a refund. I said that the assistant once again said she would have Sarah contact me. After about a week, Sarah contacted me and asked for my availability. I emailed the days that I am available, which is very open. A week went by, no response. I resent the email to Sarah again. Another week went by, no response. I emailed the assistant again, and she sent me a web link that took me to a new site feature that allowed me to book an appointment with Sarah. I immediately made the booking
so
that was made available
you guys
coming Saturday
point, right?
afternoon.
I mean, you get the point. What's happening here? You know, hey, Rudy Roo, I'm glad to see you here. You missed all the other stuff of the AI intelligence and stuff like that. I'm kind of wrapping things up. Oh wow, you know what? I realize I don't have this plugged in. Let me just make sure that I noticed that my battery was getting lower. Is this plugged in? Hold on. Why isn't this responding? Hold on. Okay, it should be. Okay, there it goes. It's done now. Okay, it just wasn't connecting properly. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of following up on a couple of last things before I end the show that kind of pertain to all of us. I love how that accent makes the bad words sound hello. Yeah, I know. An English accent seems to make swear words sound fantastic. It's just like way more palatable. You know, so yeah, he is M Seeker Truth, and let me stop the share here. I will. What is it doing? Okay, I was going to add him to the thing, but I'll make sure that I later on leave a link to his channel. He's worth it. I mean, he has some good coverage on some of the UFO guys. He's done a good thing on Simon Parks. He's done a really good thing on Charlie Ward and interviewing Charlie Ward's son, where Charlie Ward's son is just calling out Charlie Ward as a fraud big time, his own son. That's an interesting coverage that he's done. So if you're into that stuff, he's another one to watch besides CW Chanter and Steve Cambion from True Seekers talking about the topics and everything. All right, one last thing I wanted to share with you. And this has to do with some, you know, I was on Facebook earlier today, and like maybe I should do my little hoodie thing. You know, I got my little hoodie thing. My hair's kind of weird. I washed it and it's kind of frizzy, and so it's acting out. That looks weird, huh? Okay. I didn't get it on there. It's good. I don't like. Maybe I don't have it pulled in here. It's good. I got it hooked up on. Damn it! I've got this other thing hooked to it because I got this think maybe this is better. Okay. Okay. A friend of mine named Rick Overton is a comedian that has been like a mentor to me, and I've known him for a really long time. Okay, I actually even dated him at one point. Okay. Lee Camp, the comedian Lee Camp, John Cusack made a post about Julian Assange, and it was negative, like he's a criminal, just get rid of him. And so like Rick Overton had a spar about it and made some comics like, you really shouldn't say that, because I don't know if it's like a liberal thing or what's actually going on, but Lee Camp did a video about it, and I thought I would mirror a little about the video. And he also talks about, and I don't know how much I'm going to show about that, but that he talks about how he got a YouTube community guideline strike for discussing Michael Bloomberg's relationship to Jeffrey Epstein. And he got a YouTube strike on that. So when and again, that's well known and it's publicized, but they gave him a strike. He appealed it. They came back, they removed the actual strike, they still removed the video, and they said, well, we realized that what you did wasn't as severe as we thought it was, but we're still going to remove your video and not give you a strike. But he got censored for talking about the subject, and he talks about that as well. So I want to go to YouTube again and just kind of like share a little bit about what he had to say about the topic. So just because, before I end the show tonight, I just want to highlight this a little bit. Okay. Now, by the way, I have interviewed Lee Camp, and that interview is on this channel. I did re-upload it to this new channel, so I encourage you to watch that interview, because even though we did it in, I believe it was 2019, the things that we talked about, including AI, and even the WikiLeaks or Seth Rich and stuff is kind of crosses over to what he's talking about even in this video, and it's relevant today. So I want to share this with you. I'd love to maybe try to get Lee Camp to come back and do a show with me, and who knows, maybe he will come on this channel and do a show with me. I should ask. Maybe I'll say I mirrored this and covered it, and maybe he'll want to come on and talk about it. Who knows? Why not, right? Why not ask? All right. So, okay, just let me make sure that I just want to make sure that I did that right. Let's stop this for a second. Okay, wait. Share. What happened here? What's going on? Okay. All right. It was just being a little bit funky. Assange, garbage, and more. All right, here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to Moment of Clarity. Thanks for joining me. Please take a second to share it, click thumbs up, all that good stuff, and all the donations, whether you're watching this live or not live, all the donations in the super
Okay, he's going to talk
chat,
about
Rockfin, or on
a little
Venmo,
bit, so I'm
Camp.
going to
If you're not watching live, you can donate there.
try to move it along a little bit here. So, let's see, let it go, let it reboot. Come on, come in.
And but that's why I'm not spending the whole episode on Haiti. We're gonna move on because we're gonna do more of that later. Might even do it on my other podcast, Common Censored. Again, thank you guys for being here, please take a second to share it. Let people know. So yes, I wanted to get into this tweet by John Cusack. Now, John Cusack. Now, for a while, it seemed that John Cusack. So for a while, for those who don't know, that John Cusack. So
I'm trying to close
for those who don't
here,
know,
it's not letting me. So
very famous actor,
like this.
been in a lot of movies.
Oh, come on.
Some of them suck. Some of them are good.
Come on.
Good. Whatever. I don't just go after the persona or I don't. Sometimes he's on the correct side, and he's used his platform, massive fame, massive Twitter following to sometimes tweet out good and important things. I know he was a fan of Abby Martin's for a long time, and obviously Abby Martin does great work. So seemed like this guy might have his head screwed on somewhat appropriately. And so that's what makes this so infuriating. This tweet coming from any right-wing fucking asshole or coming from some CNN douchebag liberal would, okay, whatever, I'd just ignore it. But when it comes from someone that people like, hey, that left-winger is saying something about Assange, then you kind of think, well, it should be something positive, right? Why would you not fucking support one of the greatest publishers, journalists of our time? Thank you for the donation, Sean Shank. Sean Shank Redemption. I like it. There's a movie pun for you. But all the donations go to people who need a leg up, need a little help. So thank you, Sean. And I'm assuming your name's Sean and not Shank. If your name is Shank, thank you, Shank. So here is John Cusack's tweet from just the other day. Yeah. He said, sad truth is Julian sided with Trump. In all reality, his position was better for Trump to win and expose the rot, a kind of scorched earth revolutionary politics. He had nothing to lose and possibly gain his freedom, but it was a weak, immoral bet and massive suffering ensued. So this is a tweet basically accusing Assange of trying to get Trump into office because he knew Trump would be a disaster and he just wanted a disaster for America. And look at Assange suffering because it is some of the most ignorant, fucking immoral bullshit propaganda coming from a so-called left-winger celebrity with a large platform. It's fucking pathetic. It's dirt. It's gutter garbage. Assange put out information on governments around the world. And it was not just about Donald fucking Trump, okay? Or it was not just about the Democrats, because he's talking about helping Donald Trump and harming the Democrats. Furthermore, if he had information about Trump, he would have released that too. The way WikiLeaks works is they can only release what they have. I know it's confusing, John. I know it's tough to get your head around it that they couldn't release things they don't have, but they released everything they had or have. So they didn't have anything on Donald Trump, and they happen to have a lot of information. And Cusack, I'm assuming, is one of these idiot Russiagators who thinks that Russia hacked the DNC, even though the CEO of CrowdStrike, the only organization to view the DNC servers, the CEO, Sean Henry, was in front of Congress in a congressional testimony in 2017, said they have no evidence that Russia ever exfiltrated the data, meaning stole data from the DNC servers. So the idea that Russia was behind this leak or hack, there's no evidence behind it. And even the CEO of this fucking shit corporation, CrowdStrike, even he, because he was afraid of perjuring himself, so he didn't lie either in front of Congress. And so WikiLeaks released what they had. And on top of that, what did they show? They showed true and utter corruption of Hillary Clinton, of the Clinton machine, of John Podesta, of CNN giving debate questions to Hillary Clinton before the debates, of them creating the Pied Piper strategy to actually encourage and prop up Donald Trump during his early days in the campaign. So if Cusack wants to go after anyone, he should go after fucking Hillary Clinton and the Democrats for Pied Pipering Donald Trump, for delivering people, and the media. The media gave endless, 23 times as much coverage to Donald Trump as to Bernie Sanders, 10 times as much coverage to Donald Trump as to Hillary Clinton. So if he wants to go after anyone, go after the fucking media, go after the DNC for rigging their own primary and turning everyone off to their fucking candidates, go after Hillary Clinton for being phenomenally corrupt and just a fucking horrible human being who didn't even campaign in the fucking Rust Belt, didn't even campaign in Wisconsin and Ohio because people hated her so much that she couldn't go there, she figured, without getting booed off the stage. Blame those people. If you still want to blame someone for Trump, Cusack, and he tweeted this the other fucking day, meaning that right now, this was his choice. Right now, he was like, you know who I really need to go after is Julian Assange. That, you know, it's about time for me to really, really take down Julian Assange because he's been up on his high horse a little too long, right? Assange has. He's just doing great, living in his mansion in fucking Rio de Janeiro. It's like, no, the guy's been tortured for fucking 9 years, and you really thought, you know what, now's a good time to really just go after, really destroy, really dig the stake in the heart of Julian Assange. I mean, what kind of sad piece of shit do you have to be? Even if you had that incorrect, propagandistic, State Department talking point viewpoint that fucking Cusack just tweeted, even if that was in your stupid little brain, why tweet it now? Why be like, I really need to reveal how terrible Assange is? I mean, this is like a fucking beautiful stew of like celebrity fucking, like egotism combined with just pure ignorance of the entire situation, combined with just being like an immoral piece of shit.
Okay, so I have an echo. That sucks. Let me put the headphones on. I just saw that that I got a comment. There's an echo because this is so worth listening to. His take on it, and again, you know, he is not. I mean, like he's kind of like. He's not really a liberal. He's not really a conservative. I mean, you know, he's kind of like, again, in the middle, a comedian. So, you know, I like his perspective on what he's talking about. And he's right about the WikiLeaks. He's right about what he's saying. I totally agree with him. And I think it's really ballsy that he's just like, oh, shoot. What did I just do here? He's really ballsy that he's just, you know, stepping right in there and doing his and just like blatantly calling him out and literally, you know, having a Twitter argument. And Rick Overton was in this Twitter argument too. And this is kind of how I discovered this by his posts on Facebook. And then somebody posted this video and this is how I heard it. So, all right, so let's continue here. I'll put my headphones in and we'll keep going.
Yes. And he just stewed it all together, and it's fucking amazing. It's amazing to see this kind of shit. But so I was going to show my response, which thank goodness was actually doing better than his tweet, because his tweet was garbage. Let's see here. Okay. Here's my response, which I basically just told you. This is one of the dumbest, most ignorant and immoral takes I've seen recently. Pathetic. The man who made the movie War Inc., spouting garbage propaganda to indict one of the few people who have risked their lives to expose the war crimes of the American empire. And by the way, War Inc. Was a movie starring John Cusack that I think I couldn't get through all of it because it is a kind of impressively bad movie. But the point of it, however, is noble. So I commend the people who thought it was a good idea to make that movie. I think it was made during the Bush administration, or maybe towards the tail end of the Bush administration. And the movie is about corporations owning war and making money from war. So I remember I think one of the images is a tank with brand names all over it. So you see like tanks, U.S. tanks rolling by with Halliburton and fucking ExxonMobil and everything. So like those are great points to make. The movie was so bad, like the fucking acting and the dialogue and the plot and shit that I think I didn't get through it all. So it was a terrible movie, but I was impressed that he even chose to make that movie. I was like, wow, this guy understands that war is a game of profit. It's not a game of helping people. It's not a game of bringing them democracy. It's not a game of freeing people. It's a game of fucking profit. It's a game of exploitation. It's a game of stealing resources from other countries. And this guy clearly understands that and decided to be a part of this film. Had to agree to, got the script and said, yeah, that sounds about right. We have people killing millions of people over in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they're doing it all for profit. They're doing it all for corporate profits. And so I was like, this guy must get it. Get it. He must understand it. And now here he is, having made that movie, understanding something about the American empire. The American empire. And yet here he is going after only people who have risked their American lives to reveal American. Chelsea Manning. There's a few others, but it's a small list. Daniel Ellsberg. Here he is trying to tear down one of them, who's been in prison in close to solitary confinement for 9 years.
Anyway,
solitary confinement for 9 years. Unbelievable. Unfucking-believable.
Wanted to just sort of
someone had a good take on it. I'll pull that up.
Play that a little bit for you and just kind of give you an overview of what's kind of going on here with certain celebrities and how their take on Julian Assange is and how it ruffled other comedians and how and what Lee Camp said. Again, if you want to, join, find a moment of clarity. If you don't follow him, he's also talks about doing a podcast with Graham Elwood that they're doing. So I like Lee Camp. I think that I enjoy his perspective and I like to listen to him. And so I just wanted to share that with you. All right, so it's about 11:40 right now, and Mark Salo says the game of averages like Wubaka. So anyways, I appreciate you guys all being here tonight again. And Rudy Roo, I know you came in late, but go to the beginning because there's some really interesting information that I did share with everybody tonight. And so I think you're going to find it interesting. And by the way, Rudy Roo was like, well, what are you going to open with? And he said there was some computer song, but I don't think you texted me it, but I did find a computer song that I did find very apropos for tonight. And I thought, well, maybe I'll even close with it too before I say goodnight to you guys. Chewbacca's cousin. Okay, yeah. I guess it is. Like that was Electro Pig is responding to Mark Salo. So again, if you do want to support me, I'm going to be asking for more support. I do need to, like, again, the goal is to, if you see this video and you like me, please subscribe. I need to get up to 1,000 subscribers before I can monetize my channel and do super chats, which is something that I want to start to do. And my Patreon is almost ready, but that's at patreon.com/freedom of Joyce. Please check out greatcbdeals.com. I have been, using some of my own CBD products. One of the things that I want to show you, again, with CBD as a pain pill, this is really good. It even kind of helps me sleep. These are CBD BioCare capsules. Again, there's no THC in them. The only thing that you want to do is look on the website and make sure that you're not taking. The one thing that might happen is there are blood thinner medications. If it's got, I think it's called Coumadin or something like that. If you have that type, it could not be good to take CBD. That is in one drug interaction, and not very common, but some people can have allergies. But it doesn't have THC. It's perfectly legal to ship. I don't know if I have to, because of the pandemic, it's been hard to ship it out of the United States, but I have to double check on that. GreatCBDeals.com. Oh, let me show you something else too. One more thing that I'd like to show. This is a topical cream. I love it, and I put it like I put mine in the fridge sometimes. But if you have sore muscles or aches or pains or whatever, and even a headache, sometimes I put it like across my forehead. It helps with headaches. Has a really nice smell to it, and it immediately helps relieve pain through the skin. So I highly recommend I recommend products like this. These are things that I believe in, and I wouldn't be selling anything or advertising anything that I didn't think that I would not use myself. Obviously, you can see that I'm using it myself. So I wanted to throw that out at you. If you do want to support me with my move or, the education that I'm going to be starting, anything like that, you want to donate to my efforts here of the content that I provide, you want to buy me a cup of coffee, you can do that at my PayPal at hollywoodhemptress@gmail.com. And, if you aren't able to donate or contribute to me that way, your support here, liking my channel, participating, sharing my content, I appreciate that too. So just for Rudy, sorry, I forgot to sing you the song. Yeah, it's okay, but I found another song and I'm going to play it again at the end of tonight. This is a Radiohead song, but it fits the theme. So I did find something, and I'm going to close with sharing that. Hold on. So let's go back. Oh, wait. I hope I did that share right. Wait, share. Okay, wait, let me do it again. I think this is kind of it really fit well. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Fitter, happier, more productive, comfortable, not drinking too much, regular exercise at the gym 3 days a week.
Oh, I should have left it alone. I was gonna
Getting on with associate employee contemporaries, better with your associate employee contemporaries, at ease, eating well, no more microwave dinners and saturated fats. A patient better. Baby smile. backseat. Sleeping well. No bad dreams. No paranoia. Careful to all animals. Never watching spiders done a wink now and then. Will frequently check credit at moral bank. Rolling
Oh,
wall.
come on.
Killing lots or putting boiling water on the hands. Ornate cattle machine. So it better face. More annoyed. Concerned, but powerless. And empowered. And more productive.
In a cage on antibiotics. And that's how it quits.
Cage.
Wow.
Antibiotics.
I love it. Okay, so say goodnight. And you know, of you still here at, oh, here we go.